I need to put my own safety and my well-being first. And this is a message to anyone out there that is posting content. People silencing others is very much a real thing.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's Terrific Tuesday, and we're going to get straight into the meat and potatoes, as I don't want to keep you around for too long, because I know you've got better things to do, especially when we are, I know, going to be talking about the Jay Slater case again. But hold on. This is new, because people reached out to me, they tagged me in things to look at. And one thing caught my eye and was brought to my attention. That was one of the content creators who is on Tick to the Talk. And they had said, look, I've been covering the Jay Slater case, and you heard it there at the beginning what has happened to them. So they have basically been attacked, not physically attacked, but they've been attacked online, they've been threatened online, and been forced into dropping speaking about the Jay Slater case. And I know that there is people who feel that content creators are being forced to drop the case. And there is. I can guarantee you 100% hand on heart on my children's life. Nobody has approached me and threatened me with, anything with respect of dropping the Jay Slater case. It may be because I'm not balls deep in conspiracy theories to the degree that some people are, Joseph Morris. But I will state categorically that the story that's being pushed out as this is what happened to Jay. Please believe us. You must believe us. It's definitely Jay's fault. He did walk off of a cliff of his own admission and fell like Wile E. Coyote. I don't believe that, and fuck your feelings in terms of if you don't like the fact that I don't like it. And if you want to threaten me, come and have a good go. I would love to see that. I would genuinely would love to see someone try and threaten me. But look, I haven't been threatened. I did say that I'm going to wind back on the Jay Slater content, and I will, specifically for the fact that there isn't anything new to go over, and this perpetual wheel of just going over the same stuff day in, day out, I feel is not so much problematic, but it's not getting us anywhere. It's like being on a hamster wheel. You're moving the wheels. You're spending a lot of time doing nothing. And it's unfair to you as a community to be put through the same thing over and over again, because eventually you will get Jay Slater fatigue. And then when something does need to be discussed, when something is worth talking about, you won't be around, because you will have just got to that point where you're like, fuck this case. I can't watch anymore. I can't do it anymore. And, that would then be a shame. That's not doing a service to the case. It's not doing a service to Jay or his family, who certainly Warren, it would seem, is not 100% in the realms of I'm willing at this stage to believe the story I'm being told. He is obviously seeking answers himself, or if it's not seeking answers, he's seeking some kind of solace in looking back over things and dealing with it in his head. We can see that. But what I will have to ask, and what I do need to put out to the community, is the fact that people are being threatened indicative of people trying to silence people, trying to stop people from talking about the case? Now, what I will say is it would be unfair of me to not address the elephant in the room, and that is that people are being spoken about. Now, if we turn around and say we don't believe something, we are equally calling certain people around this case liars, and they do have the right to defend themselves. They do have the right to rebuff, if you like. So if we turn around and say we don't like the way that someone acted, we don't like the way that someone's behaving, we don't like the inaction or actions of specific individuals, and we want to call upon that and utilize that in our methodology to say that this case doesn't look right or doesn't feel right, doesn't seem right, then they are well entitled to defend themselves. So you can't turn around and say, well, you must take this and you don't have the right to come back at me and say something. So people need to understand that when you're a content creator, if you are going to say things about people, then you have to expect that could come back at you. So the old phrase is, isn't it, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, and that is right with this. So I can't blame the likes of Ayub Kasim, for instance, if we want to say, well, Ayub Kasim, did you really offer Jay Slater a lift? Did you really? Did you really? Or did you tell Jay to go fuck himself because you was tired and it was Jay's decision to come off into the mountains away from where his friends and everyone was, and if he wants to lift back, he can fucking wait, and you'll do it on your terms, not his terms. Is that kind of what could have happened instead of the lift that you offered? So your kindness, you know, and Lucy, if you want to turn around and say that to Lucy, why didn't you just go and fucking get Jay? Why did you do all this other stuff that had no bearing whatsoever on Jay's safety, but certainly gave the impression of you being fucking Mother Teresa? You know, if we want to turn around and say you're stupid for doing that because you could have saved him, and she wants to turn around and say, oh, fuck you lot, I did this, I did that, I did everything, then you're gonna, you know, you've got to expect that to come back. That's not indicative of anything apart from people defending themselves. So, look, in one hand, we could turn around and say, look, the fact that people are attacking people and they want them to stop talking about this case could well be indicative of they are scared that you're going to overturn something, you're going to say something that is going to blow this case open, and you're going to uncover something that somebody doesn't want uncovered. Absolutely, it could be. But as equal as it is potentially the case there, it's equal that people might just be fed up of you talking about them. They might just be fed up of being hauled over the coals, and they get to the point where I've had enough of this. This is going on long enough, and it's got to stop. We're being affected. There's people who are attacking us online all the time, and they can do that. They can say that. And I suppose I'm being devil's advocate here, and I have to be devil's advocate because if I don't, if I'm just one-sided all the time, then I'm going down the route of, you know, I've got to be honest. I have to do my content in a way that is balanced. If there is balance to it. Now, don't get me wrong, if there isn't balance to it, then I'm not going to be balanced. I'm going to, and again, I premise this with, I don't believe the story. I don't believe the narrative. I do believe that there is a potential that something is going to get uncovered. Could it be that if you put enough pressure on someone, eventually that pressure will crack? And there is an element of that. There's no different than the Reed technique, say, which is a police technique that we've heard used in the past, not mention any names, the interview room and the Crow case, for instance. If you start pushing them, eventually someone cracks and they will admit to doing something. Sadly, that's not always the case, and they didn't always do it. But the technique is that you keep interviewing, pushing until they break. And, yeah. And that could potentially be what happens in terms of the social media coverage. Will enough coverage cause the pressure in order to break some weak link in all this? It's possible. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you want to throw shit, it's going to get thrown back. I'll catch you all later.